Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Walaaliyaan dhammaantiin akhyaarta sharafta leh waan idin mahad celinaya dhammaantiin kasoo qaybgasho aad kasoo qaybgasheen shirkeenii saddexaad oo maanta ka dhacaya Lambton School. Barnaamijku uu badan yahay waxaan doonayaa ma aragtay inaan marka ugu horeysa aan ku soo dhaweeyo dadka martida inoo ah oo ma aragtay waa saddex qof oo ka socda xaafadda Isleworth waa 3 councillors iyo ma aragtay gabadha kala dhinaca bidixda fadhidana waxay ka tirsan tahay xaafadda loo yaqaan Hounslow aniga ayaa casuumay waxaan ku iri ma aragtay dadkeenu way dhibaataysan yihiin dhibaatooyin badan bahaya sidaa daraadeed waxaan doonaynaa in idinkuna aad baratiin iyaguna ay idin bartaan si aad ma aragtay u caawisiin iyo sida idinkana idin caawin lahaayeen markay ma aragtay doorashadu dhici doonto bisha shanaad 22keeda hadduu aaba idmo haddii aan ma aragtay idinka sheekeeyo shirku ma aragtay wuxuu ku saabsan yahay waa development sector campaign si aan u helno center khaas u ah Soomaalida degan degmada Hounslow iyo dadka kale ee London deganba ay ka soo qayb qaadan karayaan marka shirku wuxuu ku saabsan yahay maanta 12 qof ayaa halkan ka hadli doona haddii aan idin kala sheego marka ugu horeysa waxaan jecelahay inaan ku soo dhaweeyo Cabdifataax Jaamac oo ma aragtay aayadaha Quraanka Kariimka inoo akhrin doona haddii uu aaba ilmo aniga ayaa ku xigi doona oo markaasna soo dhaweyn doona ma aragtay dadka martida inoo ah kadibna ma aragtay Aisha Xasan halka fadhida ayaan ma aragtay inoo fari doonto iyadoo markaas akhrinaysa geeraar ay soo diyaarisay iyadoo isxil qaamtay una ma aragtay uguna tala gashay ururkeena ma aragtay wacan si uu dadkoo dhan ma aragtay u badbaadin lahaa kadibna waxaan jecelahay inaan ma aragtay ku soo dhaweeyo Cabdi Cumar Cali oo ma aragtay gudoomiyaha jaaliyadda UK oo saddexdii shir ee ma aragtay ina dhaafay ma aragtay halkan joogay oo ina taageerayay oo dadkii wacdi gelinay oo dhiiri gelinay imika Wembley buu jagaa soo socda insha Allah taala waxaan jecelahay waqtigiisa marka la gaaro in isaguna xaadir noqon doono kadibna waxa inoogu xigta ma aragtay Saynab Cusman inay halkan joogtay in kala garan maayo iyada waxaan hadda toorno ku soo dhaweynaya halkaas Maryan Muuse oo ku magac dheer Hodan kadibna waxa ku xigta riwaayad ay soo diyaariyeen wiilasha xaafadeena ah waa wiilasha aan ma aragtay marka gacanta ku hayno oo talaada kasta kubad aan ciyaarsiyo sportiska dhinaca Kingsley Academy ma aragtay Hounslow Manor College waa 7 arday oo ma aragtay isxil qaamiyo yiri anaguna maadaama aan dhalinyaradii xaafada shir kasta oo dhaca waxaan isku taxalluujinay inaan diyaarno riwaayad dadkan aan ku qoslisiino marka taasna way noo dhiman tahay waxaan ku soo dhaweyn doonaa insha Allah taala iyadana Leila kadibna ma aragtay Cabdi Xaafid Jaamac Maxamuud from University TV isaguna way noo soo socda hadduu aaba imo haddana mar labaad waxaan u yeeri doonaa ma aragtay Aisha Xasan oo ma aragtay geeraarkii ay ku bilowda mar labaadna ma aragtay inoo xiri doonta xiritaankiisa insha Allah taala marka kadibna aniga ayaa ku soo noqonaya oo ma aragtay and then presentation keeni iyo ma aragtay wixii loo baahnaa oo ku saabsanaa programkana maanta u timaadeen ayaan idin wada sheegaya inta aynaan ma aragtay arrimaheena inaanu dhexgelin waxaan jecelahay ma aragtay inaan ku soo dhaweeyo dadka martida inoo ah The councillors, I would like to thank you on behalf of the community for attending in our third meeting. This meeting is all about Hounslow Somali Community Development Centre campaign. What we want to do is we want to become a self-sufficient organisation, create a membership within the Somali community to become a member of the organisation, and therefore what we want to do, the money raised through membership, what we would like to do is create various different jobs so that when the centre is created, we will have the following, we would have created the following opportunities for the Somali community. What we hope to do is to create 10 jobs. If I could touch base with those particular 10 jobs. The first person that we will appoint is a team leader. Second person that we will appoint is a senior. Third person will be education liaison officer, a housing liaison officer, social services liaison officer, housing benefit revenue services liaison officer, family liaison officer, youth liaison officer, prison liaison officer, and finally what we will hope to have is a caretaker who will be based within the centre to do the maintenance so that the centre doesn't get run down. So without further ado, I would like to welcome the councillors from Isleworth Ward as well as Hounslow Heath. Please welcome.
My name is Ed Main. I'm a councillor for Isleworth Ward. My colleague Sue Sampson here is also Isleworth Ward. Are there any people here from Isleworth today? Yeah. Excellent. People from Ivybridge Estate as well? Yeah. Excellent. Good to see you. And Lynn on my left is also standing for the elections in Isleworth.
She's replaced Mindu.
And to my right we have Councillor Corinna Smart from Hounslow Heath Ward. Corinna is also serving as the Deputy Mayor at the moment. Anyone here from Hounslow? Yes. Healthy rivalry, I think, isn't it? And we're all from the Labour Party. And we would just like to say how much of honour it is to speak before you today. And we would very much like to encourage you to participate in the community in Hounslow. We have a very important set of elections coming up on May the 22nd for the local council and on the same day for the European Parliament. I very much hope everybody has registered to vote. If there's anybody who hasn't registered to vote, do speak to us, we can help you with that, or do contact the council. It's very important, and everyone would have got a letter about it through their letterbox. So please do fill it in, and it's very important this year because this year it's the last time that the council will send you a reminder. So from next year you're actually going to have to write in yourself to register to vote. So if you don't have a vote, you don't have a voice, and I think the best thing we can do to support you and for you to get more involved in the community in Hounslow is to vote. We'd obviously also welcome anybody who wants to join political parties. Obviously, I'd love it if you all joined the Labour Party, but if you want to join other political parties, I'd very much encourage that. It's a very easy way to get involved in the local community. There are all sorts of council meetings you can come to and speak at and participate in and ask us questions. And I think with that, I think I'll stop, and we very much want to hear some of the views you have, what the issues are that are important to you. And if you have any questions for us, we will try to answer them. But yeah, thank you very much for inviting us here today. And I hope this is going to be a productive question and answer session. Thank you very much.
My name is Marius, and my question is, really, we need direction in my people that they come to help. Whatever problem they have, they suffer a lot in this community. And like education or housing or benefit or child care, or they have lot of problems in this Hounslow area. In my people, they really suffer a lot. And we wish that we have any direction to get the help we need in this country. Our country, they don't have knowledge for English, or maybe totally they don't have enough knowledge or education. So our kids, they suffer a lot. And really what we miss is that we have help people grow up or own this country. We don't see her, we don't have that help we need in you, people born in this country. We wish that to have really that direction. We get help.
Since being elected in 2010, I've worked very much with the Somalian community. But one area that that I've been working towards trying to get the Somali community to engage in is politics. Because it's okay you being represented by other people, but you need people within politics to represent you, your own people. Okay, I've been working very closely with Samatar and with a number of people that are slowly but surely getting involved with the Labour Party and realising exactly, I've been showing them how, how the system works. So what we're asking is if more people got involved with politics, not necessarily the Labour Party, but we'd all love you in the Labour Party, but if you do decide to join another political party, that's fine. But that is the only way then we can work you through the political system to be elected just like us, and where you're able to represent yourselves, because at the moment there's only a few people that are representing the Somali community in Hounslow, and I'm one of them. And you know, and if I'm not there, then as you say, you know, your voice is not heard. So this is why we need your voice heard, and you've got to, you know, start coming forward. And you know, and I'm happy to work with anybody. I'm working with Samatar to build on this, but that is, you know, this is what you've got to do. You've got to start coming forward into politics and then moving forward.
Yeah.
Supplementary.
Oh.
Is that Susan? Is your name Susan?
Yes.
Susan, I hear your name the most of the time that you help my community. But my question is, my people, they come down to this country and they gas it for you, nobody else, your country and you. But why the government, they don't give them the direction, help they need, because this culture, this language, they don't know that much when they come. But if you have the child in your own child, if you don't encourage him or her to away all the life, he don't know what to do. Because this community, they come to this country absolutely by accident. Because in the world back home, they never be here before, and they not be if it's not work their own country. And I think, in my feeling, that UK government, believe me or not, they didn't give this community what they need, them help, them encouragement.
It's government, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because my people, they very young people, especially that age, all they one is 10 years old with the kids, unless the father is dead. And we come emotion, big community like Asian people in this area. They live this country million years, 300 years, 200 years. And this is small young community, they come here in Indian Ocean or European Ocean or whatever. And what we wish was that we have your hand to support the community. Every side they need to come up to support themselves later. But I don't see that. Whatever side is, they get the benefit, they get sometimes more, but even once they suffer more.
Okay.
But why happen that?
The Somalian community, since I've been elected, even before I was elected, but since I've been elected, has had my hand. Anybody in Isleworth can tell you that I do my best for the community, but there is only me. Okay, we need the younger generation to fight. You know, it's the same with all communities. Like you mentioned, the Asian community. The Asian community predominantly look after the Asian community. We know that. You know, and you know, the Polish community look after the Polish community, but your community needs to, you need to look after you. Okay?
Come back in a minute. Okay. Okay, can I just say, just to add to that, is that councillors like myself respond to being asked about problems, basically. And when we don't, I mean, Sue, I have to be honest, has let me know there's obviously more problems in your community that you haven't had dealt with. I can't speak for the government because I'm not in the government, unfortunately. And I have to say that we have to look at just what we can do as a council locally. So what I want to be able to do is for people, and I've already heard that there are people in Hounslow Heath, there are Somalis in Hounslow Heath who wish to talk to a local councillor. That's fine. That's why I'm here today, so at least you recognise who I am. So if you do see me out and about, when I am out and about most weekends on the streets of Hounslow Heath, then you know you can come and talk to me. But equally, I'm quite happy to meet with you, with Sue, in the Civic Centre, and then as you get to trust me, because I know that takes a bit of time, because you don't always trust everybody, I don't blame you at all, but if you give us the problems and then we can try and help you to work your way through the system. Sue was talking about getting involved politically, but there's equally a way of you coming to your local councillors and us understanding what your problems are, trying to see if there's ways through our system and to help you work how to do that. Now, clearly, you have your own. You want to get yourself a centre, which is sounds fantastic, and it's hugely ambitious. But I don't believe that's a problem, because I'm sure lots of communities in Hounslow have their own centres. There's no reason why you shouldn't have yours. And of course, that will be the start. You do need, of course, then to be able to work your way through the systems as well. But what I wanted to say to you today is all your councillors, all right, whatever political party, ought to be listening to you as a community, to you as individuals within that community. But sometimes it's a bit scary going and speaking to somebody that you don't know, and certainly somebody who doesn't understand your language, etc. But I think you've been incredibly brave today. It takes a huge amount to stand up in a number of people, even if you know everybody here, you don't know us. It always takes a lot to say something publicly when you're not used to doing it. And I understand your frustration as well. And I also think, as I'm an ex-teacher and youth worker, so I understand the problems with young people. We do need young people. Fortunately, we've got some younger councillors here as well. But we also need those young people to talk to us as well about the things that they need as well. And we will try.
All these years they have been voting for the Labour Party, and all these years they haven't seen any substantial change, anything that they have done for the community to support them, to back them, and the reason why we are suffering as a community, the reason why we don't have a local community centre is because we gave you our votes, but you haven't done anything for us.
I know the issues that face the Somali community are quite varied. This is the first time I've been aware of a specific demand for a community centre, like a physical space. I know that you have been meeting in a number of different community halls, and we do have a number of different community halls. There are several communities in Hounslow also wanting their own space, and a few communities that have got their own space. There's generally there's not a lot the council can do to give spaces. We have helped where we can, but I'm not sure, you know, on the whole, that whether communities that have got their own space have done it themselves. Obviously, we've helped with things like planning permission and things like that. But in terms of other help for the Somali community, well, my view is, well, certainly anybody in or near Ivy Bridge Estate, Sue Sampson here, it has done an enormous amount of work with individual families, helping them with housing, helping them with problems with their children, helping them to get classes. We make sure that we've got the classes on so that you can learn English and so on. And I think Hounslow as a council is as supportive as we can be. Well, is supportive of the Somali community and can do what we have the powers to do. The problem is our local authority has its funding cut and cut and cut by the Conservative government. Therefore, there is less and less that we can do. People have lost, people whose jobs it was to help people with money, help people with social care and so on, they've lost their jobs because the money has been cut. Housing is probably the single biggest issue for the Somali community. Generally, your families are large and flats are small, and very large houses and flats are very, very difficult to come by. The Conservative government back in the 80s and early 90s, they brought in the right to buy. That meant almost all of our good quality family houses with gardens have been sold. We were not allowed to use the money that the receipts from that, the money that people used to buy those houses, we were not allowed to use that money to buy new flats. The money went straight into the Treasury, to the government. Only in the last 3 or 4 years, since Labour has been back in power in Hounslow, have we been able to build council housing. And we were rebuilding some of the first council houses in England, in Beavers Way, in Convent Way. We're now building some in Heston and some in Feltham. So we are doing what we can, but as housing need gets worse, every new flat, every flat that comes available for letting, there are more and more and more families demanding it. So the situation for housing is getting worse. If we get back into government, we will promise to build nationally 200,000 homes a year. We need to build 1 million new homes in this country, but you can't do that with a Labour Hounslow alone. You need a Labour government. So a lot of what Hounslow wants to do needs a Labour government to make it possible. Thank you.
Can I just thank the lady who asked the question? I was elected 4 years ago, and that's the first time somebody from the Somalian community has asked me that question. And I think if you want to get the things that you want, you have to come to every meeting, speak to every politician, not just you, everybody, saying, what are you doing for us? Because if people don't ask those questions and challenge people like us in positions of authority, you're not going to get the results you need.
Don't sit back.
So register to vote, stand for election. Do we have any Somalian candidates standing this time? I don't believe we have any Somalian candidates. We had one tried. But nothing would make me more proud in the next set of elections for the council to see Somalian candidates standing for any political party. I mean, a lot of the Asian families who live in Hounslow now, we have lots of people in Hounslow from lots of different backgrounds, but a lot of the Asian families came here in the 1960s and 70s when all the councillors on the council were white. Then one man came along, he was from India, moved to this country, became a teacher. He became the first Asian councillor in Hounslow. Then he became the first Asian mayor in the country, and Councillor Jagdish Sharma is now he's the leader of Hounslow Council, and he's been a councillor for 40 years. And in that time, he's also been a justice of the peace as well. So he's a local magistrate. So he's gone from nothing in that respect in this country to becoming the leader of Hounslow Council. And there are lots of Asian councillors on the council at the moment. So we need people like you, and we need people like you to ask those questions all the time, because, you know, I know Sue does a lot of great work with the Somalian community in Ivy Bridge. We've tried to protect the people in council housing. We know a lot of Somalian families live in council housing. Sue organised the Horn of Africa appeal at the Civic Centre. I think that was given. I think that raised £12,000, and I think the hall was free. Was it free hire? The council gave that hall to the Somalian community to use for free. Normally we charge for that hall. We've also delivered some road improvements to Ivy Bridge Estate, but as Ruth just said, the money is tight at the moment, so keep asking those questions. Thank you very much.
There's a woman down there.
No.
The woman in the yellow?
Oh, no. I just want to come in and add on that. But what I really, really want to see, and what I've been trying to work towards, probably not done enough of over the last 4 years, is I want women, Somalian women in politics. Okay? That is what we need to represent the Somalian women. Somalian women look after the children, okay? That is what we need in the Labour Party to promote that community and to work with that community, and for the Labour Party to push you forward. And I'm happy to talk to anybody after this meeting that wishes to go in that direction.
Okay. There's a woman in the yellow. This lady in the yellow.
waxaan idinkula talinayaa dhammaantiin ciwaanka Hounslow Somali Community ayaa maaragtay kusoo qori doona shirarka taariikhda ay leeyihiin iyo maaragtay waqtiga iyo meelaha ay ku shirayaan kala socda taga meelaha miisaska u qataraaca dhibaatada ay haysata wax kastoo aad doonaysa inaad kala hadashiin xiriirka u leeyihiin inaad microphone-ka qabsatiin aad tirahdid anigoo ah heblaayo ama hebel ah oo ka tirsan maaragtay Soomaalida degmada Hounslow waxaan ayaa maaragtay ka cabsanaynaa ama ka doonaynaa in wax laga qabto sidaas daraadeed waa laydin waxaana laydin maqlaya ogaada kasoo qaybgalaya meeshaasi dadka ka hadlaya waa wax la qoray qoritaankaas dib dambe marka iyagu dhexdooda u shilaan waa waxay ka hadli doonaan waxay leeyihiin alaabada iyaga la saari doona adigoo ka dhex qaybiyey shirarkoodii iyagoo wax ku qoray ama aan maaragtay wixii aad ka cabatay aad ka xalinin marka waa muhiim inaad qol yeelatid maaragtay doorashada aad ka qayb qaadatid mar alaali markay shirayaan ina maaragtay idinka maxaada aad tihiin sidaas daraadeed waxaan idin leeyahay ka qayb qaata walaalayaal aan jecelahay oon aad iyo aad u jecelahay inaan maaragtay arko hooyo Soomaaliyeed oo kasoo qayb qaadata siyaasadda waxay tiri ma aha oo keliya inay hooyo ku ekaato guriga carruurta koriso cunto u kariso reerka iyo wixii mas'uuliyad ka qabato councillor Ella wuxuu yiri maaragtay qof Soomaaliya councillor ma jiro maaragtay dadka tamajilada Asiaanka oo maaragtay waxay ka soo bilaabeen hal qof ayuu ku soo darsamay kadibna maaragtay iyagii baa iscaawiyey oo maaragtay istaageeray oo kuwa kala soo saaray iminka kii ugu horreeyay Hounslow Council ka noqon councillor wuxuu ahaa councillor Jack Dishama councillor uu ka bilaabay 40 sano ayuu u shaqeeyay dowladda hoose iminkana wuxuu yahay gudoomiyaha Hounslow Council waana leader of the council markii inagana maxaa inoo diiday inaanu horumarkaas gaarno ama aanu isgaarsiino
questionkaas hore loo sheegay waxay yidhi aad baa u sabab gareena Soomaaliyeed councilorska wuxuu ka hadlay inuu housingka laga caawiyo inuu educationka laga caawiyo laakiin waxyaalahaas waxay jira waxyaalo ka waaweyn oo na haysta Soomaali haddaan nahay sida ciyaalkeena teenagerkeena aad bay uga buuxaan brisanka waxaa kaloo na haysta problem of the immigration just housingka kaliya iyo educationka kaliya waxyaalo badan ayaan u baahannahay in ay laborka laga caawiyaan maadaama aan support u nahay waxaa kaloo aan u baahannahay sidii maanta aan councilka u arkayno inaan u aragno MPyada sida caalamkii oo kale isbaasaway waa arki jirnay before support badan noo samayn jiray waxaan deganahay heestan waxaan u baahannahay inaan MPyada sida hadda inta idin arkay MPyada oo kale inaan u aragno oo waxa aan dhibaato qabno ayagana aan u sheegano thank you
Okay, if I could just recap that. She said that you talked about education, you talked about housing, but that's not the only issue that we face as a Somali community. We also have issues related to our youth misbehaving, disengaging, and getting involved with the criminal justice system. And some of them are currently in prison. And what we would like to see, just like we are seeing the councillors, what we would like to see in the future, Alan Keane, MP Alan Keane, before he passed away, we used to see him regularly. He used to engage with us regularly. Now that you have taken over councillor with Cadbury, you've got your work cut out. So they would like to see you more often, more engagement, more community consultation, so that the issues that they are faced are not left in the background, so that it can be tackled straight away. And we have been supporting the Labour Party, and we will continue to support the Labour Party, but we want you to support us and continue the legacy that Alan Keane has left behind.
Thank you very much. I'm more than happy to come to community events. I'm not an MP yet. I have to be elected. I'm standing in the election to be the MP next May for the eastern half of the borough of Hounslow, so Hounslow West through to Chiswick. You currently have a Labour MP. She Seema Malhotra. She became the Member of Parliament after Alan Keane's sad death. So Alan Keane sadly died. We had a by-election. Seema Malhotra was the MP for the western half of the borough. So for Heston, Hounslow West, Cranford, Hanworth, Feltham Bedfont. So she will also be happy to meet Somali community and Somalis who live in her constituency. So I'm happy to come to meetings you organise, Samakar. And if anybody wants to email me, ruth@ruthcadbury.org.uk. I've got cards here, and Samakar has my details as well. Thank you.
Can I just say as well that wherever you are in Hounslow, the London Borough of Hounslow, one of the things that we are concerned about, well, a number of us on the council are concerned about, are your children, because your children are our future, all right? Every community within Hounslow, that is our community in the future for Hounslow. And certainly one of the things I've had been great this year for me as Deputy Mayor is going around and meeting lots of young people from a whole range of communities. And they obviously all require the adults to help them on their way. And one of the things that certainly we've promised to do is provide more apprenticeships for young people. If we get re-elected as a Labour Council in May, there will be more apprenticeships around and there will be more life skills training. That's only one aspect, and we are also going to be working on the schools. So please don't think we aren't concerned about your children, because certainly as an ex-teacher and an ex-youth worker, I certainly am. Okay.
She said that she's been living in a council accommodation for over 15 years. Her property is located on the ground floor. The property suffers with disrepairs, mold, damp. Councillor Susan has also been to my property. Yes, it's the bungalow. She has been to my property. When you have raised issues with council homes, however, whenever they do attempt to remedy the situation or to take care of the reports, they come in and out within 5 minutes and they don't come back to do anything that they said that they would do so. Or sometimes they said that, oh, I don't have the proper parts or the appropriate equipment to take care of this, and then I'll end up chasing. I have now lost hope contacting Hounslow Homes because I have suffered in silence for over 15 years. So my question is, what is the point of councillors being involved in my case and getting in touch with Hounslow Homes? If nothing is being done for me, I'd rather sit at home than to participate if I'm not getting any results. So that is, as an individual she's speaking, not as a whole, as a community, she's speaking as a person with experience.
There's a number of issues. I could probably be here for the next hour speaking about Hounslow Homes. There are a number of issues internally with Hounslow Homes where the repairs, Hounslow Homes are going through a major fraud investigation, okay, within the repairs department. The repairs department is in meltdown, okay? They can't even get anybody to do the basic of works. Now, this is something that the council are working with. They've had to bring in external agency repair people to carry out the void works. Hounslow Homes currently have 300 void, empty properties throughout the borough that have not even had void works and to be able to be re-let. So that's the situation with Hounslow Homes. I do remember your case very, very much. It was the bungalow in, I know where it is. Heston? Hounslow? Yeah, off Cambridge Road. Yeah, I know. But the thing is, if you don't come back to me and let me know that this has failed, then you will just sit there in silence, because you can't, you've got to keep fighting. You can't just accept. And this is a major problem that I've found within the Somalian community. You just sit and take and accept what people give you. Don't. Fight back. You're entitled to just as much as anybody else in this country, repairs, you know, any service within this country, and even the service that councillors give you. You know, you come back to me and I will, and now through hearing this today, I'm going to raise it as a stage 1 complaint. I'm going to go to the interim assistant director of Hounslow Homes and raise it there, because it is unacceptable. You know, but please don't suffer in silence. If there is any issues, even if I've done a lot of casework for a lot of people in this room today, and a lot more. But if all of a sudden you feel that you're stuck, then come back to me and let's move to the next level. Okay, don't sit there and suffer in silence, because that's all you will do is suffer and nothing will get done.
So far, the Somali community is praising Councillor Sue Sampson. Next to me lives in Hounslow. It's out of your constituency. I said, although you represent Hounslow, you still attended to our needs and got involved and helped us. Why is it, this is the question that she asked, why is it all of a sudden that everywhere we go, we have to go and see Councillor Sue Sampson? Why can't we not see other councillors? The community is praising you, Councillor Sue Sampson. I don't know what you have done, but you have actually won their hearts. They would like to thank you for all your involvement, contribution and efforts tackling their issues, but we would like to see other councillors do the same thing.
Thank you for that. I think it started off, as a lot of people here know, it started off that I was representing my community in Isleworth, who introduced me to, where their friends had issues, their friends had issues, their friends had issues. I'm now representing people as far as Chiswick to Feltham. And as I said earlier, there is only one of me. Okay, and we have 16,000 Hounslow Homes properties. That's without the private rented accommodation. And this goes back to what I was saying to you earlier. I'm more than happy to represent, going forward, representing this community, as I have in the past, and certainly going forward for the next however long I'm a councillor. But I want women in politics. Okay, I want you to represent yourself. There's only one of me, and you women know the needs of your community. I only know what you tell me, and as a woman, we can relate. We have children, we have similar problems. Okay, but I want women in politics. It's as simple as that.
Thank you very much. I hold my hand up to being guilty to have passed a couple of people over to Sue Sampson. If it's housing issues in Brentford, I can deal with those, and I pass those issues, and I deal with those issues. But I have to say, if it's welfare benefits issues, it's very, very complicated. The interrelationship between different benefits, you need somebody who understands the benefit system. And because we haven't got anybody else to contact as councillors in terms of casework and some of the more specialist housing issues, Sue is the best person because she understands the little intricacies of the different rules. Now, what would be good is not just women, Somali women getting involved in politics, but it'd be really good if Sue could train up somebody or some people in the Somali community to know more about the systems, the welfare benefit system, the housing system. So that, and she says she's already doing that. So self-help, if you could get some women in the community being experts on these very difficult and complicated issues which I don't even know about, if you could help us and help your sisters by getting trained up, a combination of with Sue training you, maybe citizens advice training and so on, and just doing the casework and advising people, that's the best way to learn. If I get to be an MP, I will be able to employ 1 or 2 caseworkers who will be experts, who will be able to do that detailed work. But until I'm at that point, it's me and my knowledge. You know, that is why the wonderful Sue Sampson is doing a lot of the work for the Somali community across the borough. But as soon as you can start doing it yourselves and sharing the workload, that would be great.
One thing that I have done for as a result of one of the meetings that I held on Ivy Bridge. It was a request from the community for somebody to be situated within the reception area of the Civic Centre. And that's basically because what I was made aware of was that some of the community, when they get told information, say by housing or by housing benefit, they don't know if it's true. So I've now got somebody on a voluntary basis, his name is Ahmed, and he's receiving council training not only in housing benefit but in housing law, and there's one other thing he's learning. Anyway, so he's learning all of that. So then, whenever the Somalian community get told whatever it is they're told, they can go to him because he's going to be in a position to say yes, that's true, or no, that's not. And if it's not, he can then go back and challenge, okay? That is the position that Ahmed is being given. I've also just recently, I'm seeking a position in the IT for Abdi, another friend of mine's, her son, well, not friend, but Somalian lady that I know, her son Abdi wants to take part in and volunteer for the IT. But what I'm interested in is if people, it's very difficult to get a job within the local authority without necessary qualifications and training. Now, what I'm looking for is for women, anybody, to put themselves forward as volunteers for certain departments. You haven't got to have the qualifications because the council will train you, and then they will put you through those qualifications. You know, they'll put you through the training to achieve those qualifications, and at the end of it, there could be a full-time job. That is really the only way in without a degree where you've been to university, all the stuff that the younger generation have done. I understand because I'm an older person myself, and and I got my education very late in life. But this is the way in the door. Certainly for mums that are looking to go back to work after raising, like their children, they've gone to school, and I'm certainly interested. I want to hear from any mums that are prepared to take up voluntary positions that will enable you to take on all the legalities of housing benefit, housing, so then you can assist your community. And not only that, there could also be a job with Samata, within this organisation, to represent the bigger community in general.
We congratulate all the councillors who have given their precious time.
We walked into that, really.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Criticism of constructive questions.
waa cumar yuusuf qaladiid waxaan deganahay Heston waxaan u maleynayaa waa shirkii saddexaad oo ka soo qayb galo Hounslow Somali Community aan ka soo qayb galo maalintii ugu horeysay aan imaado waxay ahayd iskuulka ayaa ahayd arrimo iskuulka looga hadlayay oo ku saabsanaa ilmaha yaryarka iskuulka inoo aada marka samatar meeshaas aan isku baranay runtii aadna runtii waa nin dhalinyaro ah oo u dadaalaya weeye saad u aragtaanba gabadha Soomaalida ilmaheeda iskuulka geynaysa ee shaqaynaysa ee u cuntaynaysa ee kii gudaha jiray ee Soomaaliya kaga imaatay wax u diraysa waa gabadha Soomaaliyeed waaye marka horta gabdhahaanu way ka karti badan yihiin gabdhaha adduunka marka la fiiriyo waxtarkooda iyo waxqabadkooda waa dad garti badan oo garasho badan marka samatar intaasoo gabdhood oo Soomaali hadduu haysto horta nin waxba uguma baahno haddii wax la bixin gabdhaha bixinaya haddii wax la qaban gabdhaha qabanaya ninka Soomaaliyeed haddaad war masaajid baa la dhisi war wax la cunaa balaayo masaajidkii waxaad ka hadlaa maxay ku dhahayaa war haddaad ahayn community ilmihii baa maartay wax loo qabanaya nin ilmahan islaantii baa maartay ayadaaba dhibaatada wax ku wada dhahaya marka muhiimaddu waxa weey horta runtii waxaan isugu imaanay oo dhan waa ka xumaay waa ficlaan la inay gabdhaha laga yaabana ragga laftiisu inay ay yihiin victim ay yihiin oo dambi ayaga laftooda laga gardaranaya sababtoo ah ciyaal baa jooga markaa fiirs gabdhaha aaway aabahood aaway وقصة بالهم بإسفارك في الجرا مركيا على أي حال وحوي وحن السوق إيمانه وجمهم سنة اللي جه الله وحوي هرتا هدانا إنه إسعاونين عندنا ما عاونا يسوع قف كست هذا أي مالك كست ده وحبان إذا قبنا أو إننا عن وحبان السوق قبنا هرتا وحبان كسعنا يسوع وأنا عن مركه هراء إننا من ماذا نعصمينا مركه ولا ليه وحوي مهمته أبد كان عن كل حساب تم أدليست إن أسكت دينا إن أبد في عن أو أقول له أو كرتله أو ودني النمذ يسوع لنمذ كم وقته إن سمينا أسكت دينا هنسلونا هنقطه degmadii ugu horeysay ee midnimada Soomaaliya aas-aasta aan noqono taas aan ku tartanno Soomaaliya hadda fiiris intaas oo community baa ka jira laakiin wayna ognahay community-yada nahay wayna isfahamsanahay waa community-yadii aan xaq uga imaanay waa Soomaaliya looga soo qaxay waay marka runta loo hadlo yeena ku xisaabtamin community-geena hadda waa community-ga uu xalaalsan weey aan isku dayno inaan inaga lagu daydo inaga haddaan dhisno oo community Soomaaliya aan dhisno dhistaanku muxuu yahay ma fahamteen horta waxa la raadinayo waa inaga inaan wax isu qabanno inaga dhaxdeena aan ishorno way wax isu qabanaa taas way horta mid laga muhiimsan yahay mid kale address waxa waa inaan inaga horta aan hoy aan isugu imaano oo ilmaheena markii aan iskuulka ka waayo wallahi anas ma joogo maanta waa inaan aan ka heli karaa community-ga Soomaaliga inuu joogo oo dhalinyarada Soomaalida iyo walaalihiis uu meesha maartay uu la soo joogayo laakiin waa inayna ka baadi goobin meelaha maartay xun ama drugska iyo waxan ilmaheena waxyaabaha jira ee hadda Soomaalida siyaasadeeda guud ahaan markaad fiiris inta ku dhimanaysa badda xisaab ma laha inta halkan aan joogna xabsiga xataa aan la ogeyn xisaab ma lahayn gabdhaha ilmahooda laga qaadanayo xisaab ma ahayn magaalada hadda centralka tagto ana centralkan ka shaqeeya ana wax badan baan ogahay gabdhaheeni iyo wiilashana waxa ay ku jiraan ana waan fahamsanahay marka ilaahay waxaas abaartay hay naga xijaabo aan isku dayno oo niyad iga ah community Hounslow community Soomaaliyeed oo Soomaaliyeed inagu aan u noqono kuwii ugu horeeyay ayaan maarta aan rajeynaa insha Allah aadna waad u mahadsantiin